Concord to Riyadh, a new footballing territory for England this afternoon, a friendly against Saudi Arabia, and the end of an international year that Bobby Robson might just be tempted to draw a veil over. Certainly against Sweden last month, the England manager was showing the strain of a year that promised much, but has brought only criticism. But this was the England of last March. Lineker on form against Holland, England in good shape for the European Championships.
Scores for England. What a beautiful goal.
2 months later, Lineker helped England clinch the Rouse Cup.
Waddle. Lineker. Oh, yes, it's there. Super goal by Gary Lineker.
But then, when it mattered, the form disappeared. First against the Republic of Ireland in the European Championships.
Wright had gone right across to collect, and Sansom struggling. And Ray Houghton! Magic moments for the Republic of Ireland.
Then 3 days later against Holland, Lineker's goals had dried up. Another striker was peaking at the right time.
Van Basten in the middle, arriving now. That's Van Basten. It's Van Basten. It's a goal for Holland. Marco Van Basten.
The disappointment of the European Championships was replaced by frustration as England began their World Cup campaign against Sweden last month and still struggled to find the net.
Chance here. Oh, and Gary Lineker.
England's playing record of the year with only 3 victories in 11 matches, but the most worrying aspect, only 8 goals in those 11 matches, the lowest scoring sequence over this period in England's international history. Maybe this afternoon will help put that to rights, but many think that it's a fixture that shouldn't be taking place at all. The criticism of a lengthy round trip at this stage of the season was offset by going supersonic on Concord, the usual 9-hour journey time cut to 4. Twice the speed of sound, home-produced technology coming to the aid of home-produced sport. And as the captains confer up front, Bobby Robson justified the place of the friendly fixture in England's winter schedule.
Well, had we not played in this particular game, it would have meant the England team would have done something like 5 months without playing. That's ridiculous, that's laughable. We are trying to qualify for the World Cup, and in order to do that, you have to develop a team, and the only way you can develop a team is to play. You never get, or you don't achieve any development unless you attempt things and try things and experiment and play and do things. So we had to play. As you know, we did have a marvellous match with Italy, all sealed, signed and settled. It was a tragedy that that game could not take place. We had to pull out of that, politically, diplomatically, whatever. So we lost a very good game. It then became very difficult for us to replace that match because by this time, most of the European countries are playing their World Cup qualifying matches themselves. We wanted an away fixture, and it's not easy now to find a country to come and play you. We chased and soared high and low, and we've come up with this one. We've never been here before. It's a new experience. The players do need to play against this type of player. It's very similar to Albania. It's a bit like Greece. It's different to European football. It's different to domestic football. So for the younger players, it's going to be a testing time and a new experience. They need that. So we'll get something of that nature from it.
England arrive in a new footballing world. Exactly how new, we'll discover in the next couple of hours. But one thing that will be new to them is a kick-off delayed by prayers, but that looks like the situation we're facing in Riyadh at the moment. Hopefully a delay of no more than 5 or 10 minutes, but an illustration of the strict Islam principles of a very proud nation indeed. Now in the studio with us, Bobby Charlton and Jimmy Hill. Bobby, an unnecessary fixture, many people are saying. What's your view on that?
Well, I don't agree. I actually agree with everything that Bobby Robson said. We do need to play regularly at international level. We do need to give the opportunity to some really impressive young players, certainly from the initial part of the season, and I think it's really good. From my own point of view, I always used to love midweek matches. I hated the week when it was a Saturday to Saturday because all you had to do was go down to the ground and train, and it was a bit monotonous. So I was always glad of a midweek break. The only thing that I'm worried about, obviously, which most of the managers will be worried about, is that the players come back intact after a match like this, because we don't really know the reaction of the Saudi players. But Concord has been a help, and I think that it's right. We've had a bad match against Sweden, and I think if we can do well this particular Wednesday, then it gives us a little boost. The public are desperate for England to do something that we can be proud of, and it's an opportunity, and I'm glad, like Bobby Robson says, we don't have to wait 5 months to do it.
And a bit of sunshine on your back this time of year doesn't do any harm either. Jimmy, you've got great experience of that part of the world. You're credited by many as being the man who took the game to Saudi Arabia. What were the circumstances of your time out there? What was it, about 10 years ago, wasn't it?
It was indeed. In fact, the stadium that we shall look at this afternoon, quite magnificent stadium, was being conceived at that time. It was a dream of Prince Faisal, and it took all those years, really. It was only opened last year. For it to come to fruition, because even by their standards, where money appears to mean very little, unless you're trying to get some from them, it really made it too difficult for them to make the decision. But in the end, they came through with it, and they've spent that enormous amount of money on creating probably the finest stadium the world has seen yet.
And a kick-off delayed by prayers wouldn't be a new experience to you, I'm sure.
No, it wouldn't. I mean, sort of visiting the country as often as I did, that was commonplace. But there you are. They're different standards, a different way of life, and I got to understand them. They're very pro-British, the Saudis. They do. It'll be such an honour for them today to play against England. You know, there's no question about that.
OK, we'll talk specifically about what kind of challenge they'll provide in just a moment. But let's just look back first to England's last game, their opening World Cup game last month, the frustration that came against Sweden at Wembley.
There goes Waddle. Oh, no, it was a foul given. No, Chris Waddle was pulled up for the challenge on Glenn Hussein in the first place. We were almost back to the FA Cup final there when Peter Beardsley went on and put the ball in the net, and then the play was pulled back. It's Beardsley, side netting. One section of the crowd thought the ball had gone in. Sadly, it didn't. And Ten has got a lot of room on the right-hand side, and in a minute the right back will join him up there, Roland Nielsen, and so too did Holmqvist. Still Holmqvist. And it's Pritz. Oh, Brian Robson on Robert Pritz, and I can only think the referee thought the ball was out of Pritz's range and therefore decided the penalty wasn't to be awarded. There certainly looked to be impact. Butcher, away by Larson. Barnes! From the England bench, and there's just under a couple of minutes left in this first half. No score. Stromberg, referee paid an advantage. Hussein. This is Young, and Shilton may have seen it late. Good effort from the left back. Waddle. Oh, nice back heel. Barnes. Chance here. Oh, and Gary Lineker. Just outside the 6-yard box. In a very tight match, that was one of England's few chances so far. Chris Waddle does well here. He just saw where John Barnes was going and backheeled it into his path. Lineker has pulled away a little bit from Peter Larson, and really it was a free header. Now, Webb again. And Waddle again. Crowd urging him on. Oh, good ball. Lineker's in here. Well, let's say that it was a superb ball by Chris Waddle, first of all, Trevor.
Well, you won't see a better pass than that outside of the left foot. The goalkeeper was thought about coming out, but it was inch perfect. And then that first touch, it just took him too wide, and then he's tried to hook it back into the goal.
Stromberg again. Joachim Nielsen. Grab again by Shilton from number 9, Joachim Nielsen. Pearce. Webb. Waddle. It could be on for Robson or Lineker here. And Webb! That was deflected. Peter Larson got a foot in and it spooned up off him over the bar. It was a genuine opening, this. England worked it well. It was Neil Webb first of all, Waddle, Robson, then Lineker. He turned the other way rather than shoot, and Webb's effort came off Larson. Barnes, Roland Nielsen, Barnes again. Good play by Barnes. Robson was there. Now then, Waddle's in. Was he pulled down from behind? Chris Waddle. The referee said no. Nothing given. Bobby Robson must be wondering, as we are, whether that should have been a penalty. Brian Robson, John Barnes did well, turned it through. Waddle got it. Now, were his legs taken by the defender? Appeals all round, and the referee said play on. Still Waddle. Waddle! And the way he held his head, it looked mighty close, Trevor.
I don't think it was far away, and I don't think if it was going to just creep in the post that the goalkeeper would have got there. Wasn't sure whether to play the ball there, it just popped up.
And now Butcher, and now Robson. Stromberg. Well done, Robson. Webb. Cotty. Beardsley, can he slide Lineker through here? He can, offside. Offside won't count.
I'm not sure it was Gary Lineker that was offside there. I've got a feeling it was Tony Cotty. As you see, ball laid back, Peter Beardsley running at the defence, and Tony Cotty is who just goes offside. And I don't think it was Gary Lineker. It tucks it away, but it's too late.
Well, that's the frustration that England have got to put behind them. That's the scene in the King Fahd Stadium at the moment. The prayers are over, the teams are on the pitch. I assume that that's the team caption going up the screen there, but we'll get confirmation as we join our commentary team of Trevor Brooking and Barry Davies.
And welcome to the world's largest Bedouin tent. And that's not to be critical of this magnificent King Fahd Stadium, which has been built at the cost of $558 million. It's a new experience for the England team, the 49th different nation that England have met. And for it, they include 3 new caps, with Michael Thomas of Arsenal, the last to get up there, wearing number 4.